Welcome to Simply Liminal. My name is Stacy. This is my daily 2-card reading for Thursday, April 25th, 2024. It's Thursday, so it's a new week for my Oracle card readings, and therefore we have a new deck. So this week we are going to be working with the Wisdom of Avalon Oracle cards by Colette Baron Reid. This is the deck we visited before. It's showed up for me a couple times in the course of me starting these readings on this channel. It's a beautiful deck, and I will say it wasn't the deck that I'd planned on using for this week, but it's the deck that I'm called to use for this week. This week ends with May 1st, which is Beltane, or May Day. Some people might recognize it as that. It's one of the great turns of the wheel in the Celtic Wheel of the Year, if you look at it that way, if you follow that Wheel of Year, between Ostara, which we just had at the spring equinox, and then we'll move on after this to the Litha celebration at the summer solstice, when the sun is at its brightest point, when our days are longest, at least in the northern hemisphere. But right now we're moving into Beltane, and Beltane is one of those times. It is kind of the gateway to summer, and the veil is considered to be thin, just as the veil is thin in the fall at Halloween or Samhain, when we move into like the gateway to winter. And so I wanted to use something that felt very mystical, and the veil, as I said, thins as we draw closer to Beltane, and it's a good time to work with the misty and magical Avalon of Isle, as Colette calls it in her guidebook. She says that Avalon is a symbolic place of sacred mystery, and she says if we close our eyes, we can find it, and these oracle cards can guide us to this magical and mystical place. And so we're going to work with this deck this week, and I'm pretty excited about that. So we're starting off on this Thursday, and we're going to do, as always, our 2-card reading, where we look at the energy and the focus. So the energy is the force that's directed towards us from the universe, and the focus is our intention, our effort, our response that we put into that energy, because ultimately, you know, we're co-creating with spirit. Spirit is helping us out with energy or trying to teach us something through energy, but we still play a role, you know, in how things work out. So that's what the intention for me with these readings is, to give us both energy and then a little hint about how we should potentially weather that card just popped out. So we're just going to keep that, and I guess we'll go with one more shuffle and see what happens. Already these decks are, we'll work with that for the energy, and this can be our focus. That card just wanted to play, and so I believe we will let it. As always, before I do these readings, I open a circle of light and love and protection around myself, and that extends not only to these readings today or whenever these readings are posted, but to however long the readings last, and to whenever you find these readings to view. Know that you are protected in them, and please know that I believe that no matter when you see these readings, whether it's the day that they're intended or for the date stamp on the video or a year from now, I believe that there's something important for you to learn or a message for you to receive in these cards. Sometimes I'll see a reading that someone else has done from a year or two ago. That happened to me just a couple weeks ago, and I know that this was the time for me to see it. So so please know that whenever you find these readings, I believe there's a message there for you. So let us look at the energy card for today. This was our jumper, so I'm kind of curious. We have the Dragon card. So this is powerful energy. And right there, it says it means power and strength in this deck. It's also the 24 card. This is the 24 year. So I think that's also very important. And I believe that we are in the year, I might be wrong, but I was thinking this is the year of the dragon in Chinese mythology, but don't quote me on that. Anyways, this is a beautiful card. I have to tell you, this is, when I do readings for myself from this deck, this is not a card that comes up for me. So I'm very excited to see what it means for us in the collective. Power and strength is powerful energy that's coming at us. You know, we are in spring now. We are rolling towards summer. That gateway is coming. And summer is a season that's associated with heat and fire and light and brightness. And I feel like those are really all the things that dragons are associated with as well. So let's look at what Colette has in the guidebook for us about the dragon card. She says, the dragon comes to offer you its power and its strength, to protect and fortify you on this leg of your journey. The dragon symbolizes true power and reminds you that this infinite source is not found within your personality or ego. True power resides deep within your soul. So call upon the dragon's spiritual power and strength, and you will find a vast resource to strengthen your resolve through morality, integrity, and purpose. If you're struggling with these issues, the dragon will restore them to you. Remember that the power of the spiritual world can never be broken, and true strength is found within, not in the outside world. Never mistake a gentle man for a weak one. That's beautiful advice. Watch for a signal. The dragon always makes the next step clear, and it gives you the power to take it. So, wow, we are just starting off this week with a bang, like a big old firecracker. So we have this dragon power and strength energy. And what it's telling us is this energy comes from within us, from deep within our soul. And we just have to find that in ourselves. So let's look at the focus card and see if that kind of helps guide us towards how we're going to play on this dragon energy today. So we have risk. Now this deck is set up in kind of different categories. And one of them are cards that tell you things that you're going to do or markers that you'll see along the way. And so risk here, the symbol on this is this arrow that goes in 3 directions. It's also up here above the word risk. But the path splits for you here. You have potential ways to go. And so while we have this energy of power and strength from the dragon, I think this is also telling us that we are facing a choice today, or a bigger choice is coming for us. And maybe today is just the start of that for us. So what the risk card says is, this marker brings excitement to your path. You cannot know the outcome of the action you're being called to take until you do it. In this way, you're required to be blind in the forest for a time, risking all you know and all you've acquired on your journey for the potential of something better. So that's a beautiful gift, the potential of something better. That's also hinting to us that there is some risk because it's unknown. She goes on to say, perhaps the training you require demands faith in what you cannot experience with your 5 senses, but reliance on the 6th sense, your intuition, can provide you with another type of sight to aid in your journey. Very important questions can be answered now. Is engaging in this situation worth the risk, or does my inner sight tell me to wait until another opportunity comes? Am I willing to learn a lesson of defeat in surrender to the promise of unknown potential? Let me read that line again because that's incredibly powerful to me. Am I willing to learn a lesson of defeat in surrender to the promise of unknown potential? So there is the potential for defeat. There's also the reliance on us surrendering to what's going to happen so we can get to that promise of unknown potential. But the risk part of it is it's unknown, you know. She says, pray for guidance and ask for a sign. If the answer is yes, take the risk. If no, rest, regroup, and wait on the will of the divine mystery. So I think this card is telling us that while we know we have power and strength coming to us from the dragon and through our deepest soul connection, we need to rely on our intuition here. And if your intuition feels clouded, then know that this is the time when the veil is going to thin and your intuition is going to be stronger. So trust yourself, trust your gut instinct, trust what your soul tells you. And you know, if you still are unsure, I mean, I flip coins all the time, like flip a quarter 3 times, best of three, you know. Sometimes I'll do best of three, 3 days in a row, you know, to get to the right answer for me. That's probably my favorite source of divination. I used to also take a deck of cards and flip them, you know, ask questions. Red cards were yes, black cards were no. There are all sorts of, you know, forms of divination out there. Pendulums or potentials. Magic 8 balls. I have a magic 8 ball over there on my china closet. You know, trust your soul, trust your intuition. And if you're still a little bit unsure, ask the question and see what's going to happen. The best thing that can happen to us here is this promise of unknown potential, which is a wonderful, wonderful thing. I hope you found this reading helpful. I hope you've connected with it in some way. I would love to hear what you think about this deck. We visited it now a couple times. I think maybe one full week, and for other readings at the beginning. So I would love to hear what you think about this deck. Please like, please subscribe. Please leave comments for me. Please share these videos if you're so inclined. All of these things can help my channel grow so I can help continue to spread these messages. I'm so grateful to the comments I'm getting. I'm so grateful to the new subscribers that I'm getting. It's a wonderful thing. I just really want to help spread messages on these oracle cards and how I believe that they really divinely can guide us, you know, from the universe, or messages from our spirit guides and guardians, or our ancestors, or our inner self, you know, our deepest soul. So thank you so much for visiting Simply Liminal with me today. My name is Stacy. Have a wonderful day.